Hello everyone, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today for my analysis of the second part of Denaya Jackson's interview with the Dear Future Wifey podcast. Before I begin, I would like to thank Denaya for her transparency regarding her mental health issues, her deep insecurities, and some of her spiritual battles. Some of the things that she had to say were very hard to hear, but not surprising at all. In fact, in part 1, I talked about some of those things that broken women do to get approval from men. So throughout her testimony, to her credit, Denaya took responsibility for her role in accepting Derrick's foolishness. Derrick sounds like he's possessed by some sort of sex demon, and in my opinion, it's not a coincidence that Denaya met him a few years after she was sexually assaulted. Denaya talked about demonic spirits and poltergeist experiences while she was in the throes of depression, and I'm not surprised that she went through those things because dark entities usually come around to feed on us when we're depressed, angry, addicted to sex, and afraid. So once your vibration or your aura is damaged because of trauma, these dark entities will bring people into your life who will cause you to feel even worse about yourself because they're feeding off the negativity. This is why sometimes people seem to have bad luck because of their mindset. When we go through traumatic experiences, our mentality changes. The way that we perceive ourselves and the way we think about ourselves and the way we feel about ourselves changes. So when we're experiencing depression or anger or fear or whatever, more than likely we will continue to attract people into our lives who help to keep us at this particular frequency. Okay, so this is why it's very important to raise your vibration by doing shadow work, meditation, prayer, psychological reflection and analysis. Doing these things helps us to change our perceptions about our experiences and also ourselves. Okay, so yeah, once your vibration or your aura has been damaged because of trauma, the principalities in high places, the spirits, the demons, they will bring people into your life to keep you in a space. So if you suffer from depression, fear, anxiety, and anger, you will attract people who will keep you in that state. Okay, trust me. We humans are not at the top of the food chain. There are spirits and things that you cannot see that feed off of your energy. Denaya mentioned experiencing nightmares and sleep paralysis because of her emotional and mental issues because she was at war with herself, which made her susceptible to spiritual attack, which I'll discuss further in the coming weeks. So Denaya said that she was plunged into such a deep depression during her marriage that her mind became warped and her perception of reality was skewed to the point where she became jealous of her own daughter because Derrick would cheat with women who resembled her daughter. So Derrick prefers darker skinned women and her daughter is of a darker complexion. You know, I commend Denaya for her honesty, but in part 1 of my commentary, I did tell you guys that some women will resent their children or betray their children over a man. And I said that before I even watched part 2. Because black women, so many black women, not all black women, but because so many black women deify black men and put them on a pedestal above all others, we are no longer a safe haven for our children, for other women, or for ourselves. We will burn down the entire world to be chosen by a man who ain't worth shit. And there is absolutely no man who is worth all of that. It's never that serious. But look at what happened between Melody and Arion. Arion went on a whole entire campaign to cut down an innocent woman for the sake of a man who doesn't even fuck with her like that. Look at Tim Anderson and his mistress attacking his wife because she wants to be in her spot. Black women need to start taking accountability for their Pygmyism contributing to the destruction of the black family and the community. No, the destruction of the community is not all our fault, right? We are perpetuating this dysfunction as well. when we make men central to our lives, we put them on a pedestal. We pretty much neglect ourselves, our children, and the needs of other women for the sake of men who are self-centered. So you're focusing all your attention on a group of men or a group of people who are the most selfish demographic in the world. A lot of these black men are not providers. They're not protectors. They don't care about the children. They don't care about the community. They don't care about anything but themselves or their penises. So when you as a woman focus on that man who doesn't know how to be a protector or provider, who's very selfish, you end up destroying the community because his values, his beliefs, his attitudes become your values. You want to be liked by him. You want to be accepted by him. You want to be loved by him. So we'll do whatever these men say just to be accepted by them. And most of the time, we want acceptance from men who have no character, no integrity, no discipline, no sense of community, nothing. So of course the community is burning down because we are deifying and sacrificing our lives and our identities and our children to gain the approval of men who don't care about the community. So again, their values become our values, right? When we were matriarchy, the men had a place. They were used to breed, protect, and hunt. That's it. They were not the center of our lives, right? We didn't put these men above our children back in the day. We did not do that. When we had a matriarchy, the children came first, actually. And the men, by and large, understood that in the matriarchal culture because they understood the value of children and family and community. But nowadays, we have grown-ass black women giving more grace to these dysfunctional, abusive men, treating these grown-ass men like children, but not wanting to take care of their own children. So I'll take care of a big, grown, muscle-bound man with no job better than I'll take care of my 18-year-old daughter or son, or daughter mainly, who's trying to figure things out in life, right? I'll protect that grown-ass man, take care of him, pay his bills, feed him. He's in his 30s, 40s, 50s, but I'll kick my own child out into the world with nothing. Because what? They're grown now? The man you're taking care of is grown too. So why is he living in your home, in your bed, while your children are couch surfing, friends' houses, relatives' houses, and you don't want them back in your house? But you got a grown-ass man who's not doing anything for you, laying up in your bed every day. This is part of the problem. So, I'm not saying that Denia hurt her children. I don't think she did hurt her children. But she had the same mentality that many pick-me women who are jealous of their own daughters have. They'll hold on to a raggedy-ass man and punish their innocent daughters because their boyfriend or their husband is more attracted to the young girl instead of them. So instead of getting rid of the damn demon that's attacking your children or preying on your children, many black women will betray their own flesh and blood, right? A lot of women, we know, have babies for a man, and then they punish or abuse that child when the man leaves them. These types of women fight harder to hold on to a man who doesn't want them and who ain't worth shit than their own flesh and blood children. So after the man leaves, many women tend to have a mental breakdown. They become angry and bitter and vindictive and jealous, right? Spiteful. Because most of the times they let the man who left them abuse them and he left anyway. So you're mad about that. But you're going to take your Pygmyism out on other women and children instead of taking responsibility for your actions. And what are your actions? Again, putting men on a pedestal, making their penis and their attention central to your lives. This is why I said in part 1 that Denia was damaged before she met Derrick, and Derrick just exploited her weakness because that's how some men are. It is no one else's responsibility to make you love yourself. It's not. It's impossible. Derrick was the same way before he met Denia, and he's the same way now. He hasn't changed. He's a whoremonger. That is who he is. But because a lot of black women want to fix a man to avoid dealing with their own brokenness, they'll stay in these bullshit ass relationships and then want sympathy once they're forced to leave. Denia didn't leave Derrick. Derrick left Denia. She would probably still be with him if he wanted her. But he had to save her from herself because her insecurity wasn't the only issue. I'm going to be sensitive about this, but I really think that Denia has some other mental health problems. I don't know what they are, but the stuff that she tolerated is a symptom of a spiritual or psychological sickness. And this is why I'm very leery about her getting into religion and acting as if she's healed just because she's divorced. Yes, she's been in therapy, but just a few days ago, she was cursing people, using Bible quotes, like there's something off about her. At the very least, she suffers from a high degree of delusional thinking. When I saw her natal chart, I was not surprised to see Neptune conjunct her Mercury, and I'll dig deeper into her chart at a later date. So Deify said that Black women were boldly flirting with Derrick when she attended conferences and seminars with him. They didn't respect her or her marriage. And Derrick, being the attention whore that he is, he did not discourage the women. Again, a lot of Black women do not give a damn about other Black women and the proximity of an attractive man with resources. We want these men to be cheaters. We do. Because if the man that we want is not a cheater, we won't have an opportunity to steal him from his wife or his girlfriend. If a man is loyal to his wife or girlfriend, we won't have the opportunity to use our vaginas to try to poach another woman's man. Okay? So if a man is a cheater, that benefits us. So many of us want men to be cheaters. We encourage infidelity when it's somebody that we want. But as soon as we get the man, now we're mad about him doing the same thing to us that we wanted him to do to somebody else for our benefit. No! This is part of the damn problem now. A lot of us women treat dating like a gladiator sport. And instead of us having higher standards for these men, we lower our standards by giving these men everything they want, hoping that they'll choose us over the next delusional woman. And then we'll cut down the next woman. We'll attack her. We'll fight her. We'll beat her down. We'll curse her out. We will blame her for everything the man is doing. Because again, the man is the prize. So the reason why a lot of these Black men have a huge ego when it comes to relationships is Black women. Period. Okay? We are largely responsible for the misery that we complain about. No, we did not cause our communities to break down. We didn't cause the dysfunction. You know, this system was designed by elites and social engineers, right? We're not the cause, but we are perpetuating the dysfunction because we're refusing to take accountability for enabling these men to abuse and disrespect us. These men know that at their worst, there's going to be a Black woman who wants to build him up to be the god she needs him to be for her own validation. Tim Anderson's wife, Bria, posted on social media after the mistress posted receipts of Tim, being intimate with her, they were going on dates. After all that information came out, Bria, Tim Anderson's wife, said, "I love you at your worst, so you don't have to do better." Okay? She didn't say that part, but he doesn't have to do better. Why would he stop cheating? She loves him regardless of what he does. And Deify was doing the same thing, right? So it's not a bad thing to want love and respect and companionship. But some women act like their husband is literally God. And they act like, this God is sent down to save them from a lifetime of misery with their own company. A lot of Black women don't enjoy their own company, so they need a man to feel better about themselves. I remember when Fantasia first got married, Fantasia Barrino. She got married to a light-skinned dude with a bald head. I was cringing because she was just incessantly bragging about this man, right? And he's an ex-con with little to no options as far as like making money or providing and protecting for her, right? Fantasia's a very talented, beautiful, famous singer who has a high earning potential. And she's acting like her ex-con husband saved her. He made her life worth living when he literally brought nothing to the table but attention and prison peanuts. I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but Fantasia was acting like her life was miserable and in hell because she didn't have a husband. I don't like when women put that impression out there. It's very toxic and dysfunctional. But she's a Southern Black Christian woman. This is what they do. Black men are not taught how to show love to their wives, girlfriends, and their children. they are rewarded for being abusive, promiscuous, selfish jerks. So these little girls, they grow up deprived of male love, nurturing, attention, support, protection. And what ends up happening is that instead of having internal validation, we seek external validation because those seeds were never planted by the mother and or the father, right? Good parenting gives us a solid foundation to build our self-esteem. Most of us don't have that because of the socio-cultural issues that I discussed in part 1. Now again, I thank Dania for being very transparent and honest about her experiences. Her testimony resonated with many Black women in our community. When I was reading the comments, a lot of them were like, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of views on this video. Hundreds of thousands of views. Thousands of Black women saying, yeah, me too, girl. I'm like, damn. Really? It's an epidemic. There is an epidemic of Pygmyism and low self-esteem Black women in our community. A lot of Black men are going to be promiscuous, abusive men. That is what they want to do. So what are you going to do? You're going to force him to change? You're going to try to force him to see your value when you don't even see your own value? Is that what you're going to do? Or you're going to see these men for who they are, leave them where they are, learn to enjoy your own company, and if or when these men grow up, they'll come to you when they're ready, versus you having to pay a pound of flesh to prove to these men that you're worth love and attention and affection and provision and protection. What are we going to do? We have to stop perpetuating our own dysfunction. We have to stop complaining about things that we are participating in. We have to take accountability for our role in allowing these men to do us dirty. It can't be, oh, Derrick Jaxn is all bad and Denia is all good. Derrick Jaxn is going to be a wolf. He's going to be an animal. He's going to be a fox, whatever you call him, a predator. He's going to be that regardless. That is his job. There are entities and spirits who are demonic. They're bad. They eat off of people. They're predators. They're vampires. That's their job. You're trying to tell a lion not to be a lion? You're trying to tell a snake not to be a snake? No, they're going to do what they do. That's their nature. So again, what are you going to do? Be dumb and say, oh, I'm going to save him from being a snake. I'm going to try to change his nature. No. Men change when they feel like it. Not because you sacrifice and suffer for them. That's not going to work. They won't respect you for the most part. They'll change for the woman they want to change for. Period. We see Arion bending over backwards to appease Martell and to be his sex doll, his sex kitten or whatever, had a baby by him, and he can't even claim her. He don't want her like that. All of the hating on Melody, all of the public humiliation and the attacks, Martell never protected Arion. Never. He may have used her to make Melody feel like he was protecting Arion over her, but he never really protected her from what he allowed her to do or what he encouraged her to do for his benefits. Because Martell was seducing Arion. He wanted her to have low morals and low character and low standards and no integrity because that benefited him. A lot of these Black dudes want to whore you out and turn you into something that they can use for their own sexual gratification. It's not about you. Not all Black men are like this. Some Black men are upstanding, intelligent, warm, empathetic, and compassionate men. But a lot of them are not. A lot of them are groomed and trained to be wolves by their mothers who hate other women. Over a year ago, I said that many Black women raise their sons to destroy other Black women that they're jealous of. Okay? They will encourage their sons to be cheaters and dogs because they don't like other women. Okay? They're competing against the younger generation of women, and they want those women to suffer the way that they did. So they will, encourage their sons to be abusive, asshole jerks and whores. Because that's the kind of men that they were dating and they got hurt by. So now they want the other women who are younger than them and more attractive than them to suffer just like they did. Okay? That's the real tea. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I look forward to reading your feedback. I have some updates I'm gonna post to the community section in a couple of days. There's some new things that I'm working on. If you want to order a personal tarot or astrology reading, you can go to my website, fill out the order entry form, and submit payment via Cash App or credit card. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.